Hello and welcome to Mastering YouTube, the channel that covers everything to becoming a better YouTuber. And in this video, we're going to talk about creating your very first YouTube video, because everybody has to start somewhere. And a lot of times when you want to learn things or you see videos out there that say, hey, you can do this cool feature, but you don't have that baseline level of knowledge yet, how to create your own video or how really to work your way through the tools, camera settings, things like that, you can't really apply that new knowledge. So let's start at the right spot here, learn the base knowledge, learn how to create our very first video, and then from there we can keep learning cool new things to do. And for the video I want you to shoot two types, A-roll and B-roll. Now A-roll is what I'm doing right now. I am talking directly to the camera, talking to you. The footage is on me, and that's what we see. That is A-roll. Now for your A-roll, I don't care what it's about. This isn't going to go to YouTube. This is just for practicing only, so don't take it too seriously. I don't care if you make a little reminder list of what you want to accomplish the rest of the day or things you need to get done, as long as it's you talking to the camera and just filming that. As far as B-roll, that's anything else. Shots of just different things around your house, shots that help tell you your story, just panning shots of something. So if you want, I don't care if you go find your cat or something that's on your walls, just take a nice smooth shot and just do that with a few things so you have shots of different things that we can show you how the editing with A-roll versus B-roll works as we get into this video. So go shoot that video and then we'll continue on with this tutorial. Now that we've recorded some video, we need to get it to our computer. And a couple ways to usually do this. One, just take the card out of your camera, put it into a card reader on the computer, open it up in Windows Explorer or whatever you're using, and move it to your computer, and I'll show you the file structure I normally create. If you don't have that option, you could always buy a card reader. They're usually pretty cheap on Amazon. Or your camera probably came with a cable that you connect to the camera, other end of your computer. It'll pop those files up, and again, you can just transfer them over. From there, let me show you how I organize them on my computer before I start editing. So I've inserted my memory card into the card reader, which popped open this F drive, and then I have my C drive over here. So what I would do in your case is create a root folder or a main folder where you store all of your YouTube data and name it whatever works for you, but I'll just call mine YouTube in this case. Now in there, I'm going to create another folder for my specific project. And for this video here, I created a little fake plant video, much like I suggested you guys do with your own little fake video for learning purposes. So I'll just call it plant. Now I'm going to go in there and I'm going to create two folders, one called A-roll and one called B-roll. So I'll open up the A-roll, and I've already looked. I know this is my video where I made some footage about my plant, where I'm talking about the plant, and I am talking directly to camera, so that is my A-roll. So I am going to take that file and move it over to my A-roll folder on my computer, and then jump back over, go to my B-roll folder. I know this is the file for that, where I took some shots of the plant. And as you can see, I am not talking to camera. These are just shots of the plant. So that is our B-roll, and I will move that to that folder. And now you've got your file structure set up so we can actually open Premiere Pro, create a project, and start to show you how you bring this over and start working with the video. Alright, so let's move to the actual Premiere Pro, learn how to edit the video part of this video. And first, before we get started with that, if you don't have Premiere Pro, you can go to their website and they actually offer a 7-day free trial. So I'd recommend having your footage shot, having those videos ready, so that way when you do get this 7-day trial, you can immediately start using Premiere Pro and not have other work to do prior to that. Otherwise, if you already have Premiere Pro, let's go ahead and open that up. And when you do open that up, it comes to a screen like this where it'll ask you, do you want to work on an existing project? Do you want to click or start a new project? And we're going to start a new project. So let's go ahead and hit that browse button. And let's go to where we created our folder and our specific folder for the video that we're going to be working on. So the YouTube folder I created, and then plant in my case. And just select that folder because that's going to put our project file into our main container that all of our other footage is in, because Premiere Pro is going to save this main file that tells it what the project is all about. So let's select that and then give it a name. Name it whatever your video is going to be. It could be just YouTube learning, whatever you want. I'll call mine plant again just because that's what my little video is about. And hit OK. And now you are going to see what a Premiere Pro project really looks like, what the interface looks like. Now, before we get started with actual editing, we got to bring our footage over. So let's go to where we save that footage in Explorer or whatever you use to view your files. And I'm going to go back to my plant folder where I can see the A-roll and the B-roll folders I created. And what I'm just going to do is select those and drag and drop over here to my folder structure. And now that we have our A-roll and B-roll folders over into our Premiere project, I'm going to double click on A-roll because that's the video footage we want to work with first. We'll put that as our base layer showing, us talking to the camera and stuff like that. Then we'll use our B-roll to overlay on top of that and break up the video. And I'll get more into how to do that and what that means and how it helps your videos. But let's double click on A-roll. If you recorded more than one, that's perfectly fine. What we're about to show you will let you use all those, so don't worry about it. In my case, I just did one because it's just a quick little test and learning file. So I'm going to double click on that and that will bring my file up. And from here, I can move around, I can scrub. I can just kind of go around the file and kind of see, oh, where do I want to be? Now, if you want, you can hit your space bar or this play button here to rotate between pausing and playing and find what you want. And here's where I want you to find the first part that you want to actually bring into your video file. So whatever the end product's going to be, the pretend video that you want to put out to YouTube, where do you want that video to start? An introduction. Find that point. So maybe pause my video, scrub through yours, play around and find that point and have your marker here right there at that beginning mark. All right, so I've done the same. I've found the spot where I want to begin my video and that's this mark right here. Now what I'm going to do is hit I on my keyboard and you'll see that kind of highlights the rest of this video. That is setting an in point. Now what we're going to do is play the video a little bit and find our out point. And what that allows you to do is say, I only want to grab this footage from my file and bring it over to my actual end result or the project I'm working on. That way it's not all the footage. You get to pick and choose what you want. So for example, if you're recording your video and you're working on a YouTube video and you have a 10-minute section, but you only need portions of that, this allows you to grab those portions and move it over your file and put them together so it's a better flowing video. So I'm going to go ahead and hit spacebar to play.
Hello everyone, and today I want to talk about...
And that's where I ended that little part. Now I'm going to hit O and you'll see that now the grayed out or the highlighted section here is just a small little segment. And what I'm actually going to do is just click on the image or the video part here and drag and drop over here to my timeline. And you can see now it has brought that over here and structured it. And if you look now, if I play over here and it will put over here on this window or this player,
Hello everyone,
it's that same footage. So I want you to do that now and kind of bounce back and forth between them and grab different hunks. I don't want just one long video A-roll clip. I kind of want you to break it up and grab different segments so you can practice with setting in and out points, dragging and dropping, and you'll see. So if I do this again, and just as a quick example, and I grab another little hunk, I can do the same thing and now I can place it after my other video segment there and I can keep doing that. So I want you to kind of do this real quick, pause my video and just bring different segments over to create a little flow of your video. And I will do the same and we'll come back and meet up. So from my original one video file that I created, I have now brought over 3 segments to create a flow or a compacted version of the message I'm trying to get across without all the dead air that I had in my original file. And let's watch this together because now it's nice that these segments are together, but there are multiple things that are not perfect about it and that we can correct. And I want to show you how we do that.
Hello everyone, and today I want to talk about this plant because it's my favorite plant because of how full and green it is.
One of the things I don't like is that right about here, you can see that the audio, because right here we have our video track, but below that is audio. And you can see where the audio is kind of going up and down or the volumes are increasing or decreasing. And you can see that we kind of have a dead area there. And then the next video clip starts. And that means there's just kind of a dead spot where nothing's happening and there's a delay. And the viewer does notice that. So first, if you put your cursor between A1 and A2 here, which are different audio tracks, you can click and you can drag down, making this a little bit bigger. On top of that, you can drag this little slider here and make it bigger or smaller. And this just expands the timeline, giving it more of a zoomed in or zoomed out feel. And that allows me to click and really find where the audio stops. And from there, I can trim this to make it so there's not that big delay before the next clip starts, keeping the video flowing. And to do that, I find the spot where I want. I got my cursor right here. I can see the audio stopped. I also listened to it and played it back, and that's where I'm happy having it. And I hit W on my keyboard. And what that does is it takes anything after my current selection, so where this blue line is, and cuts it from the selected clip right here. Now the same thing can happen if I go here and say I want to just take a little bit off right here. If I want to cut to the left, it's Q. And you can see right there, it's Q. So let's just play this back and see if that delay is improved now.
Oh, this plant, because it's, today I want to talk about this this plant because it's my favorite plant because of how...
All right, and there's another delay. So let's do that again real quick. Let's come about right here, W. Let's listen to it.
How full and green, because of how full and green it is.
And now obviously you could play with this and make the audio better, but you get the point for the demonstration of this. You can spend more time trying to get that audio so it really sounds like it flows. But now we've reduced those gaps. But I still have the problem where my video is jumping. You can see where I made the cut. Even if the audio sounds good now, you can see where I'm holding the plant or where I'm positioned suddenly changes really hard on the screen. And from a viewer perspective, it really can take away from just the enjoyment of watching the video.
This plant.
So I want to fix that. And to do that, I want to talk about how we can utilize B-roll. Now, B-roll can be incredibly powerful when it comes to creating a good YouTube video. Because without it, let's say I create a 10-minute video and it's me talking to you in this camera for 10 straight minutes. It doesn't matter what I'm saying, how good I am at saying it, how entertaining I am. It's 10 minutes of you seeing me and nothing else. Nothing visually entertaining, stimulating, nothing exciting. You are going to get bored at some point. And B-roll helps you break that up, helps you see different things, help you apply the image, helps you create a story in your head of whatever's being discussed, and helps keep you interested in what's being communicated. It also does other things like helping you hide those cuts that I've been talking about. Those hard cuts where suddenly the plant goes from here to over here. You can use the B-roll to make it hide that so the user never knows you actually cut from one segment of a video to another as long as the audio flows well because that B-roll hid it. So let's jump back in and show how we can use the B-roll to make that video flow a little bit better. All right, so in this case, I have the two cuts, one right here and then one right here that both have pretty hard jumps in the video, but the audio is good enough for the purposes of this demonstration. So over here, I'm going to hit this up folder button, go back to where I can see my folder view and go into B-roll. And I'm going to open this in the same exact tactic. Scrub, find the video you want, find your B-roll. This by no means has to be perfect. The idea is just to demonstrate inputting another layer of footage on top of your existing layer, because when we bring these over, you see we have video one track. It works from a top-down approach. So anything that's above another layer, you're going to see instead of what's below it. So if I put something on layer 2, even though there's still something on layer 1 below it, we're going to see layer 2. And you'll see what that means in here in just a second. But I'm going to go ahead and find the spot and just scrub. Let's see. We'll grab right there, play, in, out. And we'll bring this over here and drop that right there. And now what we can do is you can see it snaps into place when I brought that over. You can line it right up with that. Now when I bring over B-roll, generally you don't want the audio that goes with it if you recorded any. And when you drag from the picture here or the video, you can see that it pulls both over the audio and the video. But these icons down here are for video only or audio only, which there are times where you might want to use either or. In this case, it's just B-roll. We're talking about video. So I grabbed the video only, and that's how I brought over just video. And I put it right on that hard cut line, and then it goes over the last cut line. So let's just check that out real quick.
This plant, because it's my favorite plant because of how full and green it is.
And now you can see it's completely hidden the hard cuts that were there before. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to slide this back a little bit and just show you one little extra thing you can do. So now it's overlapping. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to this effects tab and I'm going to just type cross. And this is for cross dissolve. And if I just click this and drag, I can put this right there. And I want to make sure that I move this over enough that this ends before the next clip starts. Because what this does is it uses both layers and slowly transitions from one to the other. And this way, I know that the transition is done before I get to the next clip, so you don't still see that hard cut underneath. I'm just going to move that over and make sure that ends there so we don't see one jump there. And now let's check again.
Everyone, and today I want to talk about this plant because it's my favorite plant because of how full and green it is.
Now obviously my audio is not perfect under the covers. We could get that a little cleaned up so it's tight and it sounds like it's just flowing from one word to the next. And that way you never know there are really cuts. And that's something you would work on if we were putting more time into this. But that's really not the goal of this video. And we've shown you enough on how you can play with that and just really tighten that up by zooming in right here, moving over a couple frames, and then cutting things off with those Q and W buttons that I showed you. And we have a nice little video. So now how do we export this so it's actually usable to you? So you could upload it to YouTube if you wanted. Well, I always make sure that I have this frame selected so you can see the blue border right here. And then you go up to File, Export, and then go to Media. And now we get this export settings screen. And to start, I click on Format and make sure H.264 is selected and then go to Preset and scroll down to YouTube 1080p. Now, if you are actually using 4K footage, you could select 4K and make sure that the export file is at 4K so YouTube has that and give the different levels of video footage. But in most cases, if you're watching this and you're brand new to it, chances are you're probably shooting in 1080p. So go ahead and select that. That just means the output file will be 1080p. From there, I give it a file name. It will automatically give it a name based on the footage you used, but I'm just going to name it My Plant Video. And you could select the folder that you want to go to as well. From there, I scroll down right here, and I do 2-pass. That way it goes over it twice. You might get a little bit better video quality as a result. Probably doesn't make the biggest difference, but why not? And then I also choose Use Maximum Render Quality. I want to get the best output file I can, so that way when it goes to YouTube, it's the best looking file for the user community and the viewers as possible. From there, I go right here and I choose Entire Sequence. It's already pretty much selected, but I always select that just to make sure in case I was doing something, it doesn't cut off a portion. I have the full file that I want. And then you click Export. And now that the file is exported, I'm just going to locate where I put it in Explorer and double click it to open it. So now that I've opened it up, this is a regular MP4 file with audio and video, just like regular video files you're used to playing. This also can be uploaded directly to YouTube. They know how to process it. You don't have to do anything special. And if we do a quick play.
Hello everyone, and today I want to talk about this plant because it's my favorite plant because of how full and green it is.
Now, it's not the prettiest video ever created, and that's not the goal of this. This is to help you as a brand new YouTuber, as a brand new video creator, to have the bare essentials needed to record footage on a camera, bring it into your computer, start playing with Premiere Pro, and have the knowledge to start tinkering around out there. Start figuring out how to drag and drop, how to cut things up, how to move segments over that you want, how to bring over only video, and start playing and get that base knowledge level that you can then grow on top of, which we are going to be covering so many other things. So now is your opportunity in the comments below to tell me, what would you like to know next? I'm going to be covering all sorts of things, not just Premiere Pro, but I want to cover specific things of Premiere Pro that you'd like to know how to do. So let me know what you'd like, and we'll keep the videos coming and help you advance those skills. But until next time, I hope this has helped you. Please hit that like button to help me out. Hit that subscribe button and the bell for notifications so you know when new content comes out. And until next time, keep learning, pursuing, and make your dreams a reality.